Welcome to Carl's Kitchen Window. Recently I observed a pileated woodpecker on a suet cake. It had a lot of difficulty holding on and reaching the suet because of its large size. The birds use their tail feathers for balance and to counter the movements of their large heads. But on the regular-sized suet cakes, their tails extend well beyond the suet cake and holder. In an attempt to make the suet cake easier for the woodpeckers to eat, and harder for the blue jays, I made a tree slab using my chainsaw and cutting from a fallen tree. I cut a notch a little larger than the large suet cake holder and mounted the suet cake holder in the cutout. I drilled holes through the tree slab and wired my suet holder in place. There are many ways this can be accomplished. Let's go make some sawdust. Well, that's enough of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. After cutting out the slab, I went to Lowe's home improvement store and bought screw-in eyelets to hang the slab with its suet cake from a tree. I put in 2 of them to give it more stability, but I don't know how effective that is. The main stabilizing factor is, I think, the weight of the slab. While I was at Lowe's, I bought some 1/16 inch cable and a couple bags of Nycopress sleeves and stops. Lowe's packaging does not use the name Nycopress. They sell the tools for crushing the aluminum sleeves onto the cable. I have not had any difficulty borrowing their tool and using it on the premises. Just make a harness where one cable will hold both points at the same time. Lowe's or any other home improvement store or hardware store should sell small cable and the appropriately sized clamps if you can't find the sleeves and compression tool. A small rope would also work. As a result of my improved large suet cake holder, we have seen more big woodpeckers. In fact, we see a pileated woodpecker nearly every day. I assume they come every day, but we're not always looking. They are so regular that we have identified 2 different individuals by small differences in their feather coloration. One is much more dainty when it eats than the other. I need to correct one of my errors. The correct pronunciation is pileated, not pileated, as I have always said before. It is so named for the pileum, the top of the bird's head. I suppose it is so named because they look like they're wearing a red hat. The other woodpeckers have no trouble eating there, with many choosing to cling to the slab below the suet and feeding on the bottom of the cake. By the way, Carolina wrens are not woodpeckers, but I think nuthatches should qualify.